Welcome to the Warframe weapon Encyclopedia, where today we're checking out the Fragor Prime. Now, since this is a primed weapon, the only way to get it is to assemble it from its primed parts, which you can either farm yourself by opening specific relics or by buying the parts from other players. But since relics are rotated in and out of the game quite frequently, I will put a link to the official Fragor Prime Wikipedia website in the video description so you can check it out and see which relics you want to go for. The Fragor Prime is a Mastery Rank 12 hammer that does primarily impact damage with a little bit of impact and puncture on the side. It is also very slow with an attack speed of 0.8, it has a massive 40% crit chance and above average 2.5 times crit multiplier and a decent 18% status chance. So it is a humongous upgrade over the standard Fragor, and it's better in pretty much every way with the exception of attack speed. It is a little bit slower than the standard Fragor. Now, even though I very much prefer a light attack build on the Fragor Prime, I must say that the weapon is fantastic when it comes to heavy attack, and that's not just because of its stats, the low attack speed, high damage and extremely high crit. This weapon has a unique property where you always have at least 30 combo hits, so you're always at least 2 times combo, which of course is a massive heavy attack multiplier. So even a fairly basic heavy attack build like this is gonna do wonders for you, especially since Corrupt Charge in this case will actually bring you up to 4 times combo. This is simply the way to go if you want to squeeze maximum damage out of the Fragor Prime. The heavy attacks are nasty and the low attack speed isn't that big of a problem if you have some heavy attack wind-up speed. But personally, I'm not a massive fan of pure heavy attack build, so I instead run a fairly straightforward light attack setup which looks like this. Now this is of course a hybrid build, so we have Blood Rush and Organ Chatter for the crit, and then we have dual stat mods for the status, in this case Corrosive and Heat for the armor stripping, but there's actually a more expensive version of this where you don't run dual stat mods and you instead run 90% elementals and Shattering Impact. Now, while the damage of this setup isn't bad by any means, it's not quite as good as a proper heavy attack setup, and you can also feel the solo attack speed with it a lot more. So if you're gonna do this, I would recommend you run it with Warcry, whether it's on Valkyr or subsumed on another frame, or simply run Arcane Strike as one of your arcanes. The Fragor Prime overall is a solid melee weapon indeed. It will carry you through the entire game, do all the sorties and a good chunk of the steel path as well, but it does have its issues. The attack speed, as I've mentioned already, is very slow, which is not great, but also the damage distribution is unideal. Doing primarily impact damage on a melee weapon is just not great. But it is absolutely fantastic when it comes to heavy attack, so if you're looking for a melee weapon to do a heavy attack build with, I would highly recommend you try the Fragor Prime. I don't know if I would necessarily recommend it for a light attack build though, because when it comes to light attacks, it's just okay. Now don't get me wrong, it's not terrible by any means, it's just it feels okay up to about level 100 and then the damage starts to fall off pretty fast. And that is pretty much all I wanted to say, so I thank you very much for watching as always guys. I hope you've enjoyed the video and found it helpful, and I will see you some other time. Bye bye.